Welcome back to another video. Now before I start, I just wanted to remind you guys that since I hit 600 subs, I have a 650 subscriber giveaway where I'm going to be giving away a copy of Fallout New Vegas. Link is in the description. Anyway, back to what you guys came here for, which is the top 20 teams for prize money. And this is in United States dollars, and it's for Q1 or quarter one of 2017. So let's map out the rules. Now, the rules are this, that the organization that currently has signed the team has their name on this list. The majority of players keep their money, much like they keep their spot in a major. And if more than 3 people leave a team in a year, then their money is deleted completely. So this is why teams like G2 have Team Envious as prize money since 3 players left and moved to G2. So let's start with the teams that were placed between 11th and 20th place. Starting with the worst earner in 20th place, this being NIP, who earned $19,000. Next up, we have Optic, who after losing Stanislaw have crumbled to $19,750, where they were previously a top 3 earner in 2016. Existence's LDLC is in 18th place with $20,000. Cloud9 has been having some issues, and it's showing with them only mustering $20,000 as well, and I put them in 17th place, on equal footing with LDLC. Now, Mouse have lost Nico, but even with him, they had very little impact in 2017, winning only $23,750. Immortals are finding their footing, however, in 2017, and have earned 15th place with $24,000. Now, big things are happening for Team Big, who are in 14th place with $27,500. Heroic is swinging into action with $33,000 at lucky number 13. Gambit, who have risen with the leadership of Zeus, are now in 12th place with $50,000, with the majority of which coming from their placing at the E-League Major. And in 11th place is a team you probably wouldn't have expected, which is Flipside, who earned $58,750 so far. So as you can see, we have some surprising numbers in here, like Flipside, who we rarely see, but they earned a decent amount of cash. And we also have some disappointing results like NIP, who are at the bottom of the list, despite being regarded as a good team. Now, admittedly, there are a small amount of tournaments thus far in 2017, but some have been very large tournaments, such as the E-League Major and the WESG Finals. So winning and placing further and further in tournaments is becoming more important, especially with these larger prize pools. Now onto the important placings, which is the top 10. So first up in 10th place we have Space Soldiers, who have surprisingly earned $60,000, but that is barely placing above Flipside by $1,250, and it's actually quite funny considering Space Soldiers actually recently beat Flipside at the Binary Dragon Season 1 LAN, so they definitely do deserve that placing above Flipside. Next up is Na'Vi, who have been falling really on some hard times, especially since replacing Zeus, and they just recently replaced Starix as coach. So all I can really hope is that this team gets some footing in 2017, since around this time last year, they were actually in the top 3 for 2016 and had a really great start. And as well, they were the top 5 for earning in 2016. So either way, they have earned $63,000 so far, and that's nothing to scoff at, but hopefully things become more simple for them in time. Now in 8th place we have the boys all the way up from the north with $73,000. This is of course North, and most of the money that they have earned has come from the major, since they place in the top 8 of that as well. Now, they've had some decent results as well, such as DreamHack Las Vegas, where they got into 4th place to boost their earnings. But yeah, I would say that their placing at the major is pretty accurate, at least in terms of prize money. They deserve this spot. Now, at lucky number 7, we have the former best team in the world, Fnatic, who have grossed $82,000, most of which is, of course, from the E-League Major, where they had Disco Doppelin and Twist, and they managed to get into the top 4. Since then, of course, they've had some roster changes with JW and Flusher coming back, but things are not smooth sailing. Regardless, I expect these guys to climb the ladder and become almost as good as they were back in 2015. so long as their players perform. Now in 6th place we have the new European super team, full of stars and bots alike. It's FaZe, and they sure as hell have phased up in terms of the earnings department, since back in 2016 they were in last place for earnings. Either way, this team's future is looking quite bright now that Nico is in the team and Carrigan can work his magic in terms of leadership. They've earned a decent $84,000, so I would keep an eye on this team because they might actually be a sleeping giant and earn way more money. It just depends on whether they can win some more lands. Now, rounding off at the top 5 placings is SK Gaming. Again, a former best team in the world, a 2-time major winning team, and the highest earning team in 2016, who after having some internal disputes are trying to really get back into the swing of things with their new teammate Phelps. Now, I could see that this team could rise back to the task that they had in 2016, but I don't think that they can become the biggest earner in 2017, as you'll soon find out. Now, they would basically need to win 2 more majors and some very large titles like 2 ECS and E-League seasons, but regardless, they've still earned a decent amount of money this quarter with $174,000, and they are certainly nothing to scoff at. They definitely are a top 5 team in the world, and their money just cements that. Now, at 4th place is actually a surprising result. Do you remember that other Polish team, the one that isn't virtus.pro? Well, they've done pretty well, with a massive placing at WESG, giving them, $411,000. Now, I mean, I didn't really expect this either, and I had to recheck because my brain just couldn't establish Kingwin with large amounts of money, but yeah, Kingwin has won $411,000 already, which isn't really that bad considering they're a tier 2 team. And when you look at teams like NIP, they're doing way, way better. Now, of course, there is some speculation that because they played VP to get to that spot, that VP might have let Kingwin get further in WESG just to give him a bit of a money boost. But with that being a rumor, we can't really confirm that. And thus, I have to say that they earned, thus far, on average, $82,200 per player in their team, and they are in the 4th placing. Now, speaking of virtus.pro and the best Polish team, we have themselves at $557,000, which is a shitload of cash, and it's earned them 3rd place. They have earned approximately $111,000 per player. Now, I don't know what to say other than that this team is definitely a powerhouse, and players like Neo and Taz have definitely cemented themselves as legends within CSGO and 1.6. The only problem is I just wish these guys weren't so good at their fucking job. I mean, I'm a huge Forest fan, but either way, I mean, it's just mind-boggling to think that this team has stood the test of time as the longest-running CSGO roster, and they're still earning large amounts of cash. Maybe that's why NIP thinks they could still keep Freiburg? I have no idea, but regardless, these guys are the longest-running CSGO team, and for sure they've earned enough money to really have that respect. Now, in 2nd place is the current best team in the world and major reigning champions. It's the Danish Stars, who are shooting to the stars. It's Astralis. Now, they've earned a stunning $629,000, almost 80% of which came from their major title win. So what can I say about this team? Well, for so long they struggled for most of 2016, but now that they have the widest map pool, the best strategies, and the best players in the game, they for sure are the best team right now. But amazingly, there's a team which doesn't even exist anymore that has beat them to the top spot in terms of earnings. And that team is G2, who have 3 of Envious's players. Yep, that's right. G2, who have Kenny S, Apex, and NBK, have the top spot on the list. Now, as per my rules, the majority of the team has kept their money that they earned whilst playing under a different organization, and as such, they earned a crazy $808,750, which is 98% of their earnings from the WESG finals. That's crazy. So yeah, I actually really forgot that these players had switched and initiated the French Shuffle, but yes, they are the top earners so far in 2017, without even being a full team. In fact, they had earned that spot all the way back in the middle of January before the E-League Major even began. That's because WESG's top spot prize money was $800,000. So this just goes to show you really why G2 snagged the core lineup from Envious and why they are an extremely skilled set of players. And I guess the hope for G2 is pretty high. If they utilize their players correctly, they can win some large tournaments. And yes, of course, this WESG result is definitely an outlier. These three core players have really amassed amount of money that can't be measured. And yeah, they for sure have boosted the earnings of G2 on this chart, which is why I say that you shouldn't fully measure the ability of a team based off prize money. I don't think it's the penultimate metric, but it definitely does show that if you have the correct combination of players and the correct amount of skill, you can definitely earn lots of money. Now, like I said, this is an outlier because there wasn't that many teams at this tournament, because there was basically a rule that made it that you had to have all players from one nation. But it does show that, yeah, if you can actually win a huge tournament like that, it can basically overshadow all the other teams. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll leave up the full top 20 teams list here for the next 30 seconds, and you guys can enjoy that list. If you liked the video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/KARMAAFTW, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.